Well, hello, Hoover fans. So I have a 2013 bagless over here, and I have a 2012, that's when I bought this machine new, Tempo Widepath, one of the very few machines that I've ever actually purchased new. And boy, is it a fabulous machine. So on my retest, I did 91 nozzle CFM and I think 42 inches of suction. That's really incredible from such an inexpensive machine. I don't believe it's made anymore, but it was made in various forms for a very long time. So I was going to do my brush roll RPM video, and guess what? It's like, well, I think it's about time to change the belt on this Tempo Widepath. So I have a new belt right there, and I have the old belt. You can see it's a little bit bigger right there. So I also noticed that the brush roll right here is actually quite good considering the machine is so inexpensive. I've had people tell me that on sale before this machine was discontinued, they bought it for, say, $75 US. I paid, I think, a little more than $100 for it, but it was back in 2012. So that makes this machine 8 years old. And of course, I haven't had any problems with it whatsoever. Nothing's broken, nothing's cracked. And it was my main machine to do this medium pile carpet. Well, not my test carpet, but the other medium pile carpet that I have in the rest of my house from 2012 all the way through 2014. So it was the only machine that ran in my house on the carpet for, well, a couple years. And I really enjoy using it. Is it the best machine in the world, the quietest machine in the world, the most efficient machine in the world? No, not at all. But on carpet, ooh, if you look at my playlists, man, the tests are absolutely fantastic for sand and fine dust pickup. Really incredible. So how about we go and take a look. Let's start with the brush roll first, because it's really something special considering the inexpensive price of the machine. I'm really quite surprised with its quality. So right off the bat, you'll notice that this is not plastic. This is wood. Well, it's painted wood. You can see where some of the paint has worn off over the last 8 years, but that's really about it. It's an incredible high quality brush roll. I was really very surprised with it when I first looked at it a number of years ago. So the bristles are really medium long. I mean, this is getting close to some of the longest bristles I've ever seen. I think only my Electrolux has longer bristles. They are medium stiff. They're not complete razor blades, but they are medium stiff. And remember, this brush roll specifically is 8 years old. So you got a helix design with it. And if you take a look at the plastic end caps, pop one off, guess what you find? Yep, those are real bearings. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, real, for a brush roll, full-size bearings. And because they have the little rubber caps, they are rebuildable. And of course, they're on both ends. And I was just really impressed at how well this thing is built. I mean, just absolutely incredible. And I have not rebuilt this brush roll, so it is from 2012. Very smooth operation. There's no sandiness or grittiness or ticking or banging or anything like that. No obstructions whatsoever. So I probably could go and re-grease these, but this thing is in such great shape, I don't really think I need to bother with it yet. So I just wanted to show you that. How about we take a look at the inner bag cavity where all the magic dirt and air separation happens. So you can see over the years, there's a little bit of dirt buildup It's not really that big a deal. It doesn't really change much because for years I used to use just paper bags, and the collar really, well, it was nothing. It was a cardboard collar and a little bit of paper around it, so it didn't seal that well. So a number of years ago, I switched to these bags right here. I got a bunch of them, got a great deal on it. And it's got a bag collar that's got a little bit of fabric. It's definitely not ideal. It's not any type of a rubber seal or anything. So you know what the bottom line is, it still allows a little bit of blow by. That being said, take a look at the motor pre-filter, and let's see if I can get a good focus on that. There you go. Look at that. That's been in there for years. So the only thing that I can really see is a couple of dog hairs, like there's one there, but there's just really no fine dust in there, and there's certainly not anything that's large or black. So, you know, hardly anything gets through these HEPA bags, and I blow these things out on a regular basis too, even though I've got a huge stockpile of them. So let's take a look at the after filter, the post-motor filter. Definitely not HEPA. Absolutely not. This has been in there for several years as well, and you can see how clean and how dirty it is. This is just, you know, carbon dust lines. This has literally no smell, nothing whatsoever, and there's no stuff on it except one dog hair right there, right there. Maybe right there too. Aha, there. You didn't see that. And there's absolutely nothing on there. So nothing appreciable really builds up on this, obviously, because all the filters do such a good job of getting the dirt before it hits the motor. So really fantastic. So now, how about we take a look at the belts. I need to put this back in though. There we go. Let's line these belts up on the ruler, see how long they are. So here's the one that's been installed for a few years. So if I flatten and stretch this guy out, looks like we're at about, I'm going to say that's 7 3/4 inches. And this is the stretched one. And if I take the brand new one right here, it's got some numbers on it there, it is definitely much shorter. And this one is about 6 3/4 inches or so. Yeah, probably about 6 3/4 inches. So there's a difference of about an inch when I flatten them out. So let me turn this machine over, and I'm going to show you what difference an inch actually makes. Now I'll put this little insert in here, and then I'll do a test fit of the brush roll. So you can see here another way of looking at how these two different belts are stretched. So let me first start out with the one that's got a few years on it here. Let me show you what it's like to install this. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Trying to figure out the best way to show you what this is like. So here's the belt. I'm pulling a little bit. What I want to try to call your attention to is, look at the distance between the main spindle here. It's right down here. So I still have to stretch this about so far. So this still can run on this machine. Maybe not on the highest, tallest, thickest pile carpet. Maybe it'll slip with that, but it does not slip with this carpet right here. It doesn't. But look how much tension I will have to put on this belt to put it across that axle. I mean, that's quite a bit, right? Now that you've seen that, let's do this belt. I want to show you how tough it is to get this thing installed with a brand new belt. It is super, super tight, prone to pinching a lot of fingers. Here, let me do the same thing. Do you see the distance now? See how far that is? That's like twice as far. I mean, this really requires a tremendous amount of force to put on this belt. I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't maybe caused more injuries, just because putting belts on like this that are that tight, I mean, that's tough. Let's see if I can manage to make this look as awkward as possible. So, see where this is? I'm just starting to put tension on this brush roller right here. Look how far I have to go and roll that in. I mean, wow. That is really far. But that's what you do. A lot of tension going on this brush roll. A lot of tension. Listen to that pitch. How high that is. I mean, that's just amazing. So with this belt, or actually any belt, it doesn't really make any difference. So when this belt starts to stretch a little bit farther than it being brand new, you know what happens? You go and turn the machine on, and I've mentioned this in years past. It literally starts vibrating at an unusual frequency to make you think something's wrong with the machine. There's nothing wrong with the machine. It just sounds really bad. If you have the machine running, the brush roll is spinning, and it's not literally on the carpet in any way. The second you put it on the carpet, the noise goes away. All that is normal, and you can have a belt like this that's stretched, last for, well, 2 years in my case, but that's with light usage. Oops, we missed a piece here. It came out over there. Put that back in. Oh. Where'd you go? Get this back on. All right, that's a ticket. I vacuumed that off, and I guess I was rather rigorous. Okay. Here we go. That's still turning. Nice. Now I'll put the 4 screws in, and I can finally put a little detection reflector on this brush roll, and we can measure the brush roll speeds of my 2 newest Hoovers. All right, so let's try this out. Okay, this is going to get loud, really loud. Here we go. Oh, listen how nice that runs, even after 8 years. So let's hear it for cheap Chinese Hoovers. Woohoo!